Okay, let's call this meeting to order. If we could, please just remind anybody in the audience that's not vaccinated to please have a mask. It looks like everybody's okay. If you haven't not been vaccinated, it's all an honor system, so I'd appreciate it. First order of business would be the minutes from the June 15th meeting. This was mailed to the magistrates. Any corrections or changes? We try to catch those when we can. Entertain a motion to approve.
Also make the motion.
Motion by Keith Metcalf. Is there a second? Second by Bernard Ice. Further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion carries. Next will be your bills list and additional bills list. Everybody had a chance to review those?
Thanks, sir.
I did not see anything that caught my eyes that shouldn't be.
I'll make a motion for the bills and the transfers.
Motion to pay the bills and transfers. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Second by Gary. Further discussion, questions? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? The motion will carry. Okay. On the regular agenda, we have a guest with us today. Rich Smith is here to make a presentation in regards to the Meals from the Heart program. You guys remember the mayor had asked us before the budgeting process, right in the middle of the budgeting process for us. It started to consider funding or help fund a program that was started by a private organization or a foundation, and those funds have run out, or going to run out, and asked the city and county if we would consider funding it. And obviously I know the big umbrella idea what they're doing, but I think we need some details, and Rich is here today to give us some details. Rich?
Thank you, Judge. Now, I'm here with Chris, by the way. Chris is the executive director of St. Vincent de Paul and the food pantry. So, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm here because the Bread for Life Community Food Pantry, which operates the Meals from the Heart program, is part of St. Vincent de Paul Outreach Ministries. So a little bit, 2 sentences of history. 4 years ago, the Sunflower Fund made 2 grants. One grant was with St. Vincent de Paul to put some good structure underneath the brand new food pantry over at the Kobeck building. The other grant was to pay the Go Center for meal preparation for Meals from the Heart. The Bread for Life Community Food Pantry ended its relationship with the Sunflower Fund in December. We were self-supporting at that point. They extended us and they extended the Go Center because of COVID. So that's all coming to an end now. They're moving on to do other things. So this was a 3-year seed grant turned into 4, a little bit longer for the Go Center. So Rick is the volunteer coordinator of the drivers for Meals from the Heart. He keeps the records on the Bread for Life Community Food Pantry side on Meals from the Heart, and is a big volunteer at the Go Center. Now it's your show.
Good background, thank you.
So Nelson County, that's our group. We prepare 5 nutritious meals that are delivered throughout the county. Specifically, we cover all the areas: Ballston, Chaplin, Bloomfield, Cox's Creek, New Hope, New Haven area.
That's 5 meals per week
5 meals per week.
for each individual person.
Yes. 12 routes. I have 32 volunteers I help coordinate on these routes. Naturally, all of us are volunteers. We're visiting homebound, mostly elderly people. All are qualified through a questionnaire that we complete and a home visit. We're looking for those folks that don't eat but 1 meal a day. Ours would be the 2nd meal. Don't have means, transportation means, or means to have family or friends or income to help feed themselves. So we're really reaching out to the poorest of the poor for the most part, or the disabled, or those folks that doctors have told them do not enter the kitchen. You don't belong in the kitchen, either because of meds or disabilities, etc. So this program, when it started 4+ years ago, really was a ministry, is the way I looked at it. We visited folks that we're the only people they saw most of the time. So they became friends and clients of our volunteers. So our means, our whole goal was to make sure we got them at least one meal a day. We visited, we made sure they were in pretty good shape, health-wise, hygiene-wise, et cetera, et cetera. Like I told Judge, I could go on for an hour on discussing how we reach out and touch these folks that we supposedly deliver meals to, but it's a whole lot more than that. We're averaging about 500 meals a week now, okay? Chris went into the money, so I'm gonna leave that alone. So the way we hear or learn of these clients that need our food and our service, pastors, ministers, nurses that go out and visit, social workers, and remote family members that aren't near to take care of their mom or dad or brother or sister. So they contact the food pantry. Food pantry does an initial quick phone conversation, gets that paperwork to us, and we qualify that, mostly with a home visit. We check to make sure what condition they're in, what conditions they live in. And income is one of the questions, but it's a 24-question survey we take, questionnaire of qualifying them. Get them back, we come back and review, 3 of us, the client, they meet the need, and we immediately start delivering food to them. I talked about the 32 volunteers. It's a great group of people. They're all locals naturally, and are all very committed to seeing their folks. Now, I need to stretch that just a little bit more. I have volunteers that not only visit, but they'll sit there 20 minutes, 30 minutes talking to the individuals. They'll go to the pharmacy and get their meds. They'll go get groceries like hygiene products, etc. for them. When it's their birthday, they'll deliver them a cupcake or a cake or something that's mostly sugar-free, because most of our folks are diabetic. The personal touch is just phenomenal. So it's a program of passion is my real point with Meals from the Heart.
Going back, if you won't mind, Rich,
Yes, sir.
interrupting you for a second. You're averaging approximately 500 meals a week, which means you're serving about 100 people.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Good number. These meals, let me discuss that. I'm getting ready to leave here and go prep the next 100 that we're delivering today. Protein of 3 to 4 ounces, vegetable, with a vegetable, and either bread or dessert. And it's put in a container where when we deliver, all they gotta do is pop the lid, throw it in the microwave, 2 minutes, and they have a nice reheated hot meal. That's our goal. Make sure they get hot meal. So 5 times a week. On the Go Center does a great job of the quality of the food. I kind of oversee that. If I think they're not serving enough, then I'm in the kitchen to help them along. So that's one of my chores today because of the short holiday week is go in and help prepare these meals and get them in the container and ready for our volunteers today. Let's see here. The pantry has done surveys in the past, and our clients, they always come back to say, such nutritious, tasty meals. And that's what we want to hear, and they love our volunteers. So the passion in this program, the quality of food, reaching out to 100 people is our real message. Do you want to go over any numbers? Or?
Sure. So the program costs about $180,000 a year. This is for the food preparation only. Everything else that happens in this program is done by volunteers. So the $180,000 goes to the Go Center for the preparation of the food. The City of Bardstown, as you know, has committed to $80,000 per year to help fund this program. I have commitments from other funders for about $20,000, which leaves the challenge on the table of $80,000 to be able to fund this program every year. The funding for this is moving from the Sunflower Fund. It will be going over to St. Vincent de Paul because everything starts with the food pantry. So it makes sense that the people who are keeping track of who our recipients are also the people looking at the bills and managing the bills. So that's what we would like you to consider. We appreciate your time, and we're happy to answer any questions you have.
You guys have any questions?
I got one. Who pays for the gas and
The volunteers?
Volunteers, it's all on us.
use their vehicle and everything?
Yes.
So is there any paid administration in this?
No?
None.
I think it's an outstanding service to the community. I want to thank you all. I know some people that gets their meals and they depend on those meals, so it's
Now,
very good.
There's some other meal programs in the county, right? Senior citizen.
Senior box
senior-
program.
what the- Yeah, but but
At the
the
senior
senior center, of course, COVID kind of threw a little wrinkle in that. They actually go there and get a hot meal, I believe, if I'm not
Yeah, I know
mistaken.
some folks that do that.
Yeah.
They do deliver.
Communicare is involved in that.
That's true, that's true. So let me ask you, you're serving about 100 folks a week. So
Okay.
what is your contingency on if that need grows in the community as far as, the funding of that? You know what I mean? So you're asking fiscal court to contribute, am I mistaken, you said 80,000
$80,000,
80,000
a year?
of our 180 budget.
right.
Yeah.
Now, we do know, we've got 4 years of history on this program, and it's been steady between 95 and 106 people for about 3 years. So, because people do move off the program. They end up in nursing homes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our numbers at the fairgrounds are monthly. We were serving 600, 575 for, at the early onset of the program. We're down to less than 400 now, almost every month.
That's interesting.
So your mission down here at the Bread for Life, I think, has made food more accessible to those folks, which is a great asset. Our numbers are down some, which is good,
Yeah.
to a point,
It is.
Yeah.
As long as
But we say that, but we want to make sure that we're, if people truly need food, we do not want them to go hungry in Nelson County.
Right.
And nobody does that. Nobody wants them to go hungry. So basically, you're doing about 25,000 meals a year, 500 times,
52.
and 25,000 meals.
4 years ago, this program didn't exist.
You're not.
Well, I've asked the court members to, educate herself on today, and we'll address this probably our next court meeting or in the near future to talk about it. I've got to make sure I can plug some money in if they decide to do it, and where I can still rob from Peter to pay Paul. You have to do that all the time, don't you, Chris?
Yes.
So the average cost per meal is around $6.90.
And the Go Center makes that money.
Well,
They get the money.
they get the
That's their
money,
revenue.
They're not making very much.
They're not making very much.
With inflation and the cost of plastics is one of the critical things that they're hitting me up with right now. They're going to have to bump the price a little bit, which we anticipate. But no, it's not a profit center for them, if you will. It's also a passion for them as well.
I'm keeping folks busy and working, yes.
So the funding on this program relies mostly, I guess, right now on the city, correct?
Right now, the Sunflower Fund.
Yeah,
which
the
is
city
in-
has not, they've committed the money, but they haven't started.
No, they have not.
And they committed how much?
80,000.
80.
And bear in mind, once you start one of these programs, guys, they don't go away.
I understand.
It only goes up.
We've got a list of about 5 nonprofits that want money right now from us. And they're all great programs. But we will consider this. I want to put it all together and make sure that we're doing the right thing for the entire. I've got at least, I know 4, and you guys have been made of other nonprofits that we got to listen to those folks as well. It's a shame you have to determine what you can fund and not fund, but this would be a good consideration.
Well, our plea is, these folks we're visiting are remote and can't get out. They're not able to get out physically, most of them.
Mhm.
So it's us or they're down to 1 meal a day, if that.
Are any of these folks getting the senior box program at the fairgrounds or
Very
the
few.
senior
Only
center?
time convince someone to go help them.
You'll get it, yeah.
Right, and we have people who also have nominated someone to pick up food for them at the food pantry,
Mhm.
but.
But then most of that food has to be prepared, and if they're not
Yes.
capable of
So
preparing
it's
it,
only
I understand.
It's only,
What about combining the resources and just having to deliver the senior boxes?
Yeah, but their senior boxes are full, they're not prepared. And some of these clients, way I heard you say, are not able to cook for themselves,
no,
mentally or
Walkers,
physically.
wheelchairs,
oxygen.
Without limbs, we have a lot of veterans, Vietnam veterans, without limbs.
Have you tried through the Veterans Affairs to get some funding?
That's a federal program and state monies. I don't know if we've tried, well, one of our challenges is we're now getting hit with the sunflower fund, right? Not saying they're done with us. They started, God bless them, got our stake in the ground, got this thing set up pretty well. We have been challenged to say, okay, let's go get some money and where do we go? We're pretty good at begging. But with the idea of the city saying, hey, we're not gonna let this program die, here's how much we can get you guys. And naturally, we thought the next place to go would be to the county. That's why we're here today.
I think everybody wants to consider that. I know I want to look at our whole big picture before main thing is to get the checkbook ready.
Well, yeah, and recognizing they got a different pot of money than we got.
Okay? Thank you, guys. Thank you all for the presentation. We will be back in touch.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Steve, I'm gonna give this to you for you to
Okay.
share with your folks.
I will do that. I'll get you copies of that, guys. Oh, these are copies, aren't they? Okay, they are copies. Moving on to the next order of business. Got Chief Shields here from the Northeast Nelson Fire District. And a couple of things, I think, here, Chief, isn't it?
Yes. Well, number one is required by law now. I'm required to bring you all a budget, which I submitted to Dean via email a few
You
weeks
guys should
ago.
have a copy of that.
And I hope he forwarded it to you.
Yes.
But if y'all have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Do know we're sitting on somewhat of a cash reserve right now, but that is earmarked for Station 3, which we anticipate to start hopefully within the next week. Looking forward to groundbreaking on that here pretty soon, and hopefully by this time next year it'll be up and running.
Remind everybody where Station 3 is.
Station 3 will be located at 360 East Main in Fairfield.
Fairfield.
Yes. And we'll cover that northwestern part of our territory. And then point number 2 was the reappointment of the appointed trustee, Mr. Terry Scruggs.
You guys get a copy of that order as well. Terry Scruggs?
Yes, sir. He's one of our appointed trustees.
I like how you filled out the little questionnaire on him, said he was a good person. I like that, not meeting them. I always said when we approve somebody up here, I always would like to put my eyes on.
Well, usually somebody has that you kind of trust.
We had a little help on
Yeah.
that, Keith. We subscribe to a service, an attorney out of Louisville who prepares those e-file forms for us.
Well, I like
We
that.
used to do a little different, didn't we, Chief?
Oh, yeah, we've had some mistakes in the past, so we're trying to get everything a little more organized.
I know Terry very, very well, and I would make a recommendation that your district.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a real quick question. How big is that station gonna be in Fairfield?
Right now, 60 by 50. I don't anticipate that changing. That's the same size as our Station 2 in Chapman.
Are y'all gonna plan on moving some of your equipment to fill that space?
We already have the engine dedicated for it. It's sitting behind our Station 1 right now.
Sitting outside there.
Yeah, and so we're busting at the seams right now, so we're pretty anxious to get it up and running.
50 by 60 gonna be big
Yes,
enough?
but it will actually be oriented a little different. If you're familiar with Station 2 there in Chaplin, it's 50 wide across as you look at it from the front. This one's gonna be turned 90 degrees and actually be 3 bay as
Yeah.
opposed to 2 bay.
Yeah, y'all been waiting on this for a little bit, ain't you?
Yeah, we need the room,
Yeah.
and Fairfield is very excited about it.
Yeah.
I was not able to attend, but the assistant chief went to the homecoming days that they had
Mhm.
last weekend, 2 weekends ago.
Yeah, it was a real
Yeah,
nice.
and he got several questions. We're gonna start. We're looking
Oh,
forward to it.
yeah.
so.
Gonna help their insurance ratings.
It should, in Fairfield proper, it may not help that many because most of Fairfield is actually already within 5 miles of our Station 1, but we've got the outlying areas, Murray's Run,
That's
Plum
right.
Run, Keene Road, a lot of those areas will help, yes.
Thanks, Ted.
Yes, sir.
Fiscal Court, I would need a motion to approve Terry's appointment to the court.
I'll make the motion to approve, reappoint Terry. to the board.
Motion been made, is there a second? Second by Gary. Further discussion? All approved, say aye. Aye. Disapprove? Motion carries. Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Just curiosity, about how many volunteers now do you have at your,
Right now on roster, we have 24 active. And we have 2 that respond out of the Fairfield area. So we're hoping that number, once we get the station up and running, or at least start construction on it, we're hoping to generate some interest and get that number up to that particular area. You can build all the stations in the world, but without, on paper, yes, you will get some benefit, but in reality, you need personnel to help them.
Yeah.
So,
thank you all for your efforts.
yes, sir, thank you.
Okay, that board appointment, that was what I had. So we'll go down to the soil conservation report. I reported to this last court meeting that I had that document. I just want to make sure you guys had received a hard copy of it for the court record, Jeanette, to make sure that you don't necessarily have to put that whole, just make a reference to it, please, just required. On the spectrum request, we're going to pass on that. They have already submitted their report to the feds, so not necessary. Audit firm. On the audit firm, Rhonda sent you a request, a quote, some quotes on that. Roy Hunter CPA at $15,900 is who she is recommending. And the state let us do it this time.
Yes, state access to our outside auditor.
It's always cheaper when you do that.
Absolutely.
Motion by Bernard Ice to, I guess, award the contract to Roy Hunter CPA to do our audit. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Second by Eric. Further discussion?
One question, Rhonda, do they work good with you?
They do. They've done our audit twice before. And we're gonna have a single audit coming up for 21, probably the next 2 or 3 years. So it's important to have a good audit firm to do that. So, yeah, and I'm comfortable with them. I know both firms. I know people in both of those. So I'd be fine with either one, but we'll go with Roy Hunter. They've done it.
All right.
Any other questions? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. Okay, I got recreation report next on the agenda. I moved you up the line for some reason. You can tell I was out of town. I'm teasing.
All-Stars is pretty much wrapping up. They saw fall soccer. I ain't got a date on it yet, but it's getting ready to come back around. Cameras are gonna start the 14th of July.
Okay, we added some security cameras out
Getting
there.
them prepped up to install.
Thank you for that effort. Jail report?
As of this morning, we have 96 inmates, 40 are state, 56 are county, 34 wait for circuit court cases, 22 wait for district court cases, total of 81 males, and total of 15 females.
Any questions? Get your new medical contract, folks are on board?
They started last Thursday.
Okay, thank you. EMS report, Joe?
Nothing to report there.
Okay. Landfill solid waste report, John?
We had bid openings Friday for the Force Main Sewer Project. One thing that the contractors had some good points in the pre-bid, the lead time for materials for the pipe it's a long lead time, and, let's see, one more. So this is,
One for Jeanette.
yes. The long lead times and the price. So basically, these suppliers will hold the price basically only for 5 days. We need a little more than 5 days to basically review the contractor before we're married to them. So basically, to alleviate them guessing, marking up their bids quite a bit, we just decided to go ahead and have a separate,
John, do you have any extra copies for the meeting?
yeah. Having a separate bid for just the material. So the first, basically, that's just for your information, which we'll talk about next core meeting. But what I'd like to make a move on is the pipe materials. So we had 3 people submit prices for the pipe. So this is just the HDPE pipe and the water line. So we have 2 types of HDPE. We have an 8-inch HDPE, and then we have a dual containment. So anywhere that we put a sewer line closer than 10 foot to a water line, you gotta have secondary containment. So that's the very short section behind Simpson's Lake Dam. So for the best price for just the standard 8-inch HDPE is that first line item right here. Basically, that's a unit price per foot, and the second one number is the total price for $142,020.
Is that $8 a foot for 8-inch pipe? Is that what you're saying?
$789, yes,
$8.
a foot, and that's for the HDPE pipe.
Now, is that included in this cost?
That is not included in there. So what we did, we did addendum, pulled that out, because basically what it was, those suppliers will only hold that price for like 5 days. And it's gonna take us, we're gonna discuss, I hope next court meeting, we'll have about 2-week time before we award the project.
This one page he gave you outlines the actual contractors.
Yes.
And we're verifying the type of work that the low bid guy has done. So far, it's been good, but we want some references and verify, because there's about $1 million difference between the high and the lows.
There's a lot of money on the table.
A lot of money on the table. But this guy, we talked to him after the meeting, one of the guy that dropped off the bid, he was comfortable with it. He seemed good with it. We talked to a couple other engineers that's dealt with them. They said they've done good work. So basically, we're gonna do some more phone calls, emails. Dean's gonna talk to another judge.
It's gotta be bonded.
It has to be bonded.
Insured.
So basically, you need a motion to nail down the
Pipe,
materials.
The materials. That way we can do some more research for this,
for your contract.
for the contractor bid, just to make sure they're
What we're gonna do, we'll store
good.
the materials on our site.
Okay.
How did you pull this price out of this if you didn't know the price?
Okay, so we had 2 separate bids. So what I did for our main contract for a construction project, I did an addendum basically saying, we're gonna pull out just the HDPE pipe. They're still responsible for the stone, like the stone backfill, all the fittings, the pump station. Basically, the biggest risk on their part is to have this HDPE pipe and PVC pipe, because they can only lock that down for 5 days.
There were about 6 contractors, 5 or 6 contractors were in the pre-bid meeting we had, Keith. And during that pre-bid meeting, every one of those guys had concerns about getting the product.
So,
And so that's why we pulled it out at the last minute and advertised it to be legal with the advertising process and bidding process. And then we take the responsibility of the pipe. If it's delayed, then the contractor's not, it's got liquidated damages on it as far as the contract goes. So we didn't want them to be in that. We want to work with these people, not work against them.
What is the lead time on that pipe?
about 6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks.
It could be 10 or 12.
So if that got delayed, I'm sure there's a completion.
So what I did with that, so we're gonna sit down and with the contract, we can say, look, do you want us to issue the notice to proceed, or we can hold the notice to proceed off for 6 weeks?
I got you.
That way their start time starts 6 weeks from now.
And the city just
So we
went on a project that they had, the price of the pipe went up so much that the contractor had to go back to the city to get a change order for the difference of the pipe.
Yeah. We just didn't want to be right out the gate, and next court meeting, if we approve this guy, we don't want to be arguing with this guy the first 2 weeks of the project
Right.
about prices going up. This way we're trying to take that,
Does
we
that
can
sound
assume that
fair?
risk, and we could go on and buy it. Plus, hopefully, we'll definitely save sales tax, we'll save, a lot of times these contractors, they'll mark up whatever, 5-10%, and the risk of it. They're not gonna just assume this risk for free, they're gonna mark their price up. So hopefully, we can save on 3 different levels there.
Hey, we're gonna need pipe anyway.
No matter if it's this guy or this guy, you still need the pipe.
I make a motion, we approve.
Disco.
So basically what we would do, we'll do ISCO, we'll break off Hayes pipe. If you look at the second line item over the far right for that 6-inch PVC pipe, so that portion of the project, that is just a standard PVC pipe. That's $7.60 a foot, that's the cheapest for that line item. So I would like to buy the PVC from these guys,
Okay.
and then the other one from ISCO.
I guess the motion is to approve this go for HDPE and Hayes pipe for the PVC.
Yes.
Motion's been made, is there a second?
I second the motion.
That's a quiet y'all been this morning. Usually the seconds come pretty fast. You're spending real money, aren't you? Motion's been made and a second by Eric. Any further discussion?
One, How come ISCO didn't bid the 6-inch pipe?
So there's the HDPE and the PVC, they manufacture the HDPE. They're the only ones out of the other guys that actually make it. So they don't really deal with it. They knew that if they were to buy from somebody else, that they would be more expensive anyway. So they said, hey, this is our specialty, it's HDPE pipe. Can we just bid that? Now Hayes pipe, if you look at Hayes pipe's price, it's 13 versus 16,000, so it's cheaper. So they deal, Hayes pipe deals with PVC. And that's who Brad and Lee deal with a lot of, I don't know how much.
We've bought
they
stuff
got.
with them for years.
They've been dealing with them quite a bit. And that's another thing too, just the availability of this pipe. He told me this morning, the guy from Hayes Pipes, basically, we deal with Hayes Pipe, or the road department does a lot more. So if they got this pipe sitting on the ground, they're gonna sell it to us before they sell it to just some random guy that shows up. So it's availabilities, I think, too.
Be sure you get up-to-date pipe, and they've been sitting on their lawn for over a year.
Listen, there's no pipes in. No
We'll double check all that too.
Well, I understand there's no pipes on the lots. Most have been made, second. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion will carry.
So that's all I have. And so basically, next board meeting, we'll go back and I'll get some references and get some more information.
All these bidders submitted bid bonds,
Mhm.
and knowing that they have to have a performance bond and
Yep.
insurance before.
Yep, P&P bond, so.
Okay.
Where's that guy from?
This guy's from, I think,
Can't remember now.
Corbin, I believe.
Can't remember.
Yeah. I'll double check. We'll get all
That's
that.
been almost 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, and a few vacation days.
John, how does that bid fit with your estimate of the project?
We were around 1.8. So by the time you add the two together, we're at 1.5. And basically, it comes down to, once you take the majority of the materials out, your labor and equipment. So it's how hungry are you? And they had 2 jobs finishing up, so basically, they wanted to work. These other guys, like Clear Construction, the guy that bid 2.3, he's covered up. And then you got all these other projects coming down the pipeline that they know they could possibly get, so it's
There's gonna be so
basically
many
how
projects.
hungry are you?
These water lines and sewer lines with that
Oh,
federal
yeah.
money, the pipe people are just, they're just ruining their salivating right now.
Maybe we should buy some extra and start selling it.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Get the pipe business.
Now, you know that goes against your grain.
You scratch it from the record.
Yeah. So we can revise that.
I
motion.
know that goes against your grain. Thank you, John. Good job, John, you and Brad, appreciate that.
Yeah.
One quick thing, our garbage pickup's regular schedule this week. I know we had 4th of July Sunday, but
Any help with that?
yeah, we sent it out already, but just wanted to make sure, regular schedule this week.
I guess people had it out yesterday.
Mhm.
Pretty good. Road Department report, Lee.
All right,
I want you bad news now.
Amazing.
I want you to tell me the boom board broke, or the radal's not operating right, or.
I'll keep all of that out of there.
This is a new year.
We'll go by districts here. In District 1, we repaired a couple sections of the chip seal on Pascal Ballard Lane. We trimmed brush and tree limbs on Stringtown Road, Coon Hollow Road, Walker Hall Road, Icetown Road, and Tollgate Road. Again, we're in a little triage here on some of these roads.
You should never have put those by district. I've seen them do some things right now.
I was counting the bullet points for each one. Keith, you got a lot, you know.
You gotta learn a little bit more than
I'll eventually learn here. We repaired a shoulder on Leonard Hall Road. We rocked and graded the gravel section of Moss Brown Road. And we're currently paving the shooting range at the Old County Quarry today. I'm watching the weather. It's maybe in between days here and there to get that quarry done. It calls for quite a bit of asphalt, so we want to make sure it's good and dry. In District 2, we rocked and graded a section, the gravel section of Sanders Lane. We patched a couple spots of asphalt on Sanders Lane as well. We paved the island intersection of Woodlawn and Tom Greer, so hopefully you won't get any more complaints about gravel being thrown out in the road there. We repaired a culvert washout on Garden Drive. We did repair that catch basin on Eagle Pass. We'll still wait until probably the grass growing season's a little bit better to remove that rock on Eagle Pass. We trimmed an area of Potter Shop Road to improve sight distance on Ed Brand. It's a constant battle that we're facing there with the homeowners not quite maintaining their bank too well, so we'll go out there and trim that back. We trimmed some other problem areas of Potter Shop Road and Potter Shop Loop. On District 3, we installed culverts and a deeper ditch along Old Nelsonville Road to improve drainage in that area. And our mowing crew finished up the second round of District 3 last week. District 4, we chip sealed Ledan Road. We installed an additional elliptical pipe on Whitesides to improve drainage in that area. That project was funded, or the state provided the pipe for that project. And the mowing crew is starting in District 4 on their second round. District 5, we chip sealed Big Springs Road, Dudley Lane, and Hughes Hill Road. We replaced a couple more culverts on Irish Ridge Road. We rocked and graded the gravel section of Maud Cooksey Lane, and we installed gabion baskets to stabilize the slope near the bridge abutments on Dugan Lane. And I got another project that we'll be starting soon on Timber Creek, near the creek, where we're going to be installing some gabions as well.
Thank you, thank you.
That's all I got.
Thank you. Okay, let's go to the next order of business. Old and new business. Magistrate, you have anything?
I'd just like to make a statement, being this is our first meeting since, for a year and a half of COVID. I'd just like to take a minute to thank all the first responders, EMS, Sheriff's Department, fire, jail, the hospital personnel, Lincoln Trail, and Director Sarah Joe, and all the teachers across the area. And condolences to the families that's lost loved ones during this trying time.
Yeah.
And it's great to be back. Thank you.
Thank you. Matthew, you have anything?
Sure.
Motion to adjourn. Motion by Bernard Ice. Is there a second? Second by Jeff Lear. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yes.
Can I have a minute?
Sure.
My name is Jeff Stone. I'm president of Nelson County NAACP. I have spoken to Dean Watts about an issue that we have that needs to be addressed. I'm assuming, I have to assume that you guys are not aware.
I didn't hear what you said. What you said?
I'm wanting to know if my concern that I've raised through certified mail to Dean Watts and Mr. Snelling has been addressed, and you guys are aware. I noticed that sometimes you pass on information. I'm wondering if this court is aware of my concern.
I read it in the Standard.
Okay. All right. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to be put on the agenda so I can talk in detail. But I have to say that although I think it was a great thing that you guys did for meals, this humanitarian thing for meals, but I'm standing here because of a death in the jail, and I've waited 14 weeks for information. I've sent out requests for Freedom of Information request, and the only Freedom of Information request that I've not gotten, I've gotten the answer from the state police, but I have not gotten anything from either the jail or my understanding is, and I haven't read it yet, but it's been reported to me that my Freedom of Information request for the autopsy report was denied by the county attorney. And my concern is that what started out to be a simple and unfortunate accident at the jail has blossomed into something I think is more sinister. The fact that I am not being responded to, or we are not being responded to about an issue of a death is concerning to me. And it's so concerning that, in my opinion, either one of two things are happening. Either this is not a big concern for either the fiscal court or Nelson County government in general, or there is something going on here that needs to be addressed. I want to mention this because I know the answer is always going to be, hey, this thing is under investigation. Well, I speak to on a daily or a bi-weekly basis Detective Mike Cook, who is the detective from the Post 4 of the state police, and he has informed me 2 weeks ago that in 2 weeks his investigation should be completed. So I'm not asking for anything that's not going to be coming, but I am very concerned that the autopsy wasn't provided to me, and I'm also concerned that even though I've heard some information in the press about the logs, the jail logs, that my Freedom of Information request was not honored at all. This is very concerning to me, and it's also concerning to me that none of you are aware of this. There's a shame involved in this. I'll yield the floor. There is a shame involved in this that patience on my part is not remedied. And no amount of telling me that there's investigation ongoing, or more importantly, as a civic community organization, that I can't get a tour of the jail and information on general information that should have been available to me on the 17th before Mr. Maddox died, on the 19th when he actually died, or the day after. I should be able to get a tour of the jail no matter what. It's unexcusable and it's not right, and I don't believe that it's right that my Freedom of Information request was denied by the county attorney. And so I respectfully request to be put on the agenda to explain more in detail.
And yeah, that was going to be my point of order. I think, and thank you very much for your concern. I think it would be appropriate to put it on the agenda so we can talk about it, because the rules require it to be placed on the agenda before it can be brought up. And I'll be happy to discuss with you or in front of the court or wherever we need to be the denial of the specific requests. And I think there was also additional information you had requested that would be up to either the jail in terms of a tour or something like that. That would not be an open records request. But
my concern is that I had to come here, and it's been over 15 weeks waiting, and now I'm hearing that, yes, we'll talk to you.
Well,
so I think it's unreasonable. I'll just put it out there. I think it's unreasonable, and I think that this could have been avoided, that I come here, that I'm here now, could have been avoided. I did everything I could to talk to people individually. Okay, so now I'm here pointing to this guy, and now I'm here pointing to you.
I responded to you, Jeff. I responded to you, right?
And
you just didn't like what I said.
It was, well, actually what you responded to me, and you said you would send me the logs, but I haven't gotten them from you.
I did not say I would send you the law.
Okay, well, again, I'd like to be put on the agenda.
Well, let's have our ducks in a row.
yeah.
Dean,
I
we have been
want to
friends
give you
forever.
information. I can't give you information I don't have. Right?
I'd like to be put on the agenda.
Okay. Anything else, guys? Motion was made, I believe, by Bernard to adjourn. The second was by Jeff. All approved, say aye. Aye. Disapprove? The motion will carry. Thank you all. I responded to you, Jeff.
Why am I here? Why am I here, Dean?
Well, I can't answer that. I just responded to you. I got it in writing in an email.
Over there. You had an extra one.
I got it in writing.
And an extra one of the second page to the road department.
In my, going on.
Landfill.
Yeah, if y'all,
Sorry.
because we can get them.